Hey you guys, here's an interesting game I've literally just finished in the French defence, and it's interesting because I've come across a brand new line that I've never met before. So d5 here, as normal. If pawn takes, you recapture, essentially you've got an exchange variation with the knight out here. And now we get the two knights. Now I don't know if I've ever seen this before. The French defence two knights variation. Now, one of kind of general rule in the opening is that you generally don't want to be putting your knight out onto its natural square if there's a pawn that can safely come and harass it. So my queen is behind this guy, so I can push forward without worrying about this knight capturing. And now this knight has to retreat, okay? And now I get to push c5, which is a move that I would normally play anyway, protecting the knight. And now it's interesting because white has got these two knights over here, which is actually quite a common occurrence for black in the French defence, interestingly. In fact, very often you can have lines where black plays knight to f6, and then e5 is played, and then this knight comes to here. Right, and with this knight to here, so really interesting. It's like white is now the French player. Anyway, so we have d3, I develop my knight, we have g3, and I just push forward, just kind of solidifying the space on this side, well, in the centre really. White goes ahead and fianchettos the bishop, I develop my light squared bishop, kick, retreat. Comes out attacking the queen, f6, retreat. Okay, so right now it's like, it's a fairly balanced board. I think I'm doing quite well. Okay, I now bring out my knight, so no real aim for this. I just want to get developed really. I might bring my knight out to here, but I want to see where white's going to castle. I'd imagine having fianchettoed this bishop, he might go kingside, we'll see. And he does indeed castle. So now I strike out on the king side. All right, I want to charge up with my pawns. I want to get my pieces lined up against this side of the board and go in with an attack. And a3. Queen now here. So very, very straightforward idea. Queen takes h3. It's defended only once. Sorry, bishop takes h3. Bishop recaptures. I've got queen takes. Very strong. Okay, and now rook to b1. So I go in and here take the bishop, so the king moves in to defend, and now the h-pawn is gone, so I'm feeling good. Let's strike out with h5 straight away. No reason to hang around, let's not dilly-dally. We want to attack the king side. Alright, so we have b4. I'm not too concerned about this, about losing that pawn. So I now want to improve my knight. So idea is now maybe pushing forwards, taking. I just want to break open that king. Okay, b pawn pushes forward, I retreat my knight. He retreats his knight. Now h4. And now the rook comes across. Now I can't capture because that would create a discovered attack on my own rook. But I can push forward with check. So now the king moves over to h2. Still feeling pretty good. f5 now. I just want to, push the pawns, throw pawns at my opponent's position. Pawn takes, queen takes. I've got ideas of taking here and checkmating on g2. And now the knight comes in to e4. Now, so I'm thinking, okay, he's defending this pawn, right? And also, I mean, remember this is a 15-10 game, right? I've got 13 minutes on the clock. I didn't look quite closely enough at that move because I now push ahead with my own ideas, right? So knight into here, maybe thinking about taking, and can you see the blunder? This, I think, is my only blunder of the game. Can you see the blunder? Knight to d6, check. And it's a royal fork. King and queen, both attacked. Nothing I can do. Move the king, recapture the knight. Okay, so now I'm really down in material. It's getting desperate, but at least my opponent's king is slightly vulnerable there. Okay, so pawn takes, opening things up. Rook to here. I now move my bishop in line with my opponent's king. So idea is maybe I've moved this pawn, and then I can move this pawn, attack the knight with a discovered check. That would be great. Maybe you won't see that. He pushes c4. I've got no interest really here in capturing en passant. I figure out that actually, these locked up pawns are only going to be good for me. His bishop looks bad. His bishop's got nowhere to go. This rook doesn't really have anything to do. I could push b6 at any time. So now I come in with my knight. I'm looking at a fork on king and rook, perhaps. And now the rook comes in with check, which is annoying. I could have blocked it with the bishop. Now the knight comes in with check. So I capture the knight. Still got ideas of pushing this pawn with a discovered check there. But it's too little too late. In he comes. King to here. Queen comes in. King only has one square. Queen to there now. King back here. Queen to there. King back there. Bishop takes f4, check, and mate. And yeah, my opponent, well, we've got the same amount of time left on the clock, but that really was a slaughter in the end. So yeah, I ran the analysis on the game, and if you look at the chart here, I'm actually doing pretty well at this point. I'm like 3.5 points up at this point in time. King h2 inaccurate. That's good. Okay. So really, and I mean, this is okay. I've got a fork on a couple of pieces here. But after king takes, where do I go wrong? Where do I go wrong? Pawn pushes forward. That's good. Good. Well, I mean, obviously blundering my queen was the biggie. That's an inaccuracy. So let's just check that one. What should I have played here? Knight back, really? Knight back to there, okay. So, anyway, so I pushed Queen f5 is an inaccuracy, apparently. Knight to here is best, yes, but I'm still on top at this point, right? But now this is a blunder, simply because I miss that, right? Simply because I missed that, but I am not too concerned because I didn't lose any rating points for this game. It was not an unrated game. The reason I didn't lose any rating points is because my opponent is rated 22-29. So my opponent is rated nearly 800 points higher than me. And in actual fact, looking at this, I had the better play up to this point, White was not doing so well. So, just fascinating. I just thought, let's pick. Why not? Pick up a game with somebody rated 2200. How often do you get to do that? This guy's like in the top few thousand on chess.com, right? Right up there. But the key thing is, what do we learn? What do we learn from playing somebody that much higher rated? Will I learn more from playing somebody who's on a complete another level to me than I will by playing somebody around my own level or somebody lower rated? I think one of the things that I take away from this is that you can hold your own to a degree with solid play, with principled play. I mean, maybe he deliberately played loose and free to give me an advantage and make a game out of it. I don't know. He didn't say in the chat, but I mean, this is a simple blunder. Why did my opponent make that move? Is my king safe? What are the threats? Kind of stuff. It's all checklist stuff. It's all there. Yes, I found a new opening line in the French defence that I hadn't come across before. So I really don't know what to make of all this, quite honestly, in the end of it. I mean, obviously, the speed at which he was able to calculate that he could sacrifice his knight and force the checkmate in a few moves. Yeah, I mean, that's definitely a clear difference between me and him. But to lose with 13 minutes or so on the clock, I don't know. I feel like I should have done a bit better here. So, I mean, this was really the turning point in the game, or one of the turning points in the game. And I should have spotted this threat. So, what should I have done? What should I have done here? Okay, right, that's why. Okay, so I should have retreated my knight to protect this square. And if I'd have done that, I'd have still just had my nose in front. But having lost my queen, just massive, massive disadvantage. So that takes away that move from him, and I'm still threatening, well, potentially not threatening that straight away. But I would definitely have had options, fighting chances. Question is, am I going to improve playing against 2000s? You got to say yes, really, haven't you? Maybe every day that we should pick, a fight against somebody much bigger and stronger than we are. Maybe we should just do that every day, just to mix things up. I don't know. But I tell you what, it would have been an extremely satisfying win if I'd been able to do it. But you find a different level of chess, I guess, don't you? So I guess here as well, I could have brought my knight back to here, got rid of this guy. It's defended by the bishop. Wow. I don't know, guys. I'm just a bit shell-shocked from all of that. Definitely got a little bit overexcited, but that's the same. I mean, it doesn't matter whether you're playing somebody 500 points lower or 500 points higher. It's the same stuff, right? Follow the checklist. Why did my opponent make that move? Seriously, why did my opponent make that move? Look for all the threats. Evaluate it all and use your bloody time. Use the clock, right? You're given a clock for a reason. Use it properly. I could have caused him some more problems. I'm sure I could have done in this. But hey, it's all good fun. And at the end of the day, it's only a game. Of course, I've still got this as an idea as well. Queen to there. He'd have had to have moved his rook over. I don't know. Oh, lots of fun. Anyway, so hope you enjoyed that. Let me know your thoughts. I mean, have you ever played anybody 800 points higher rated? And what do you get from it? I don't know. Mind blown. All right, guys, thanks for watching. I'll see you later.